So now that you've created your Facebook page and you've created your first post on that page, if you already had an existing post or an existing page, then you created the first promotional post on there. Now remember that post, you want to have a good body text there, a good call to action, and a good image or a video. But now the question is where do you send people? We told you to include a URL there, but the question is where do you send people from that post? Because remember, in the next module, we're going to start running ads at that post. When people hit that post, it's going to convince them to go to the next step. The next step is where you send them from that post. So there's a few different options, and we're going to cover those now and in the rest of this module. So here's what you have set up so far. So right now you have you don't have the ad yet, but from the ad, which you can see on the left, that traffic, when somebody clicks on the image or on the title or anything there, it'll take them to your Facebook post once we set that up in the next module. So you've created the post, which you can see on the right-hand side. This is one that had been running for a while. They've got a good image there, catches your attention. They've got the text there. They tell people to go to a specific website. This one is menshealthplus.org. It's a subpage of there. But then they have some text there, makes you want to read it. They've got a good headline there. And they've obviously created a page, the Get Jacked page. So they've created a post for the purpose of an ad. So that's what you've done so far. So now the question is, where do you send people from that post? They're sending people to menshealthplus.org. Where are you going to send them? It's going to depend on your product and what you want to do. So the next step is like I said, determine where you're going to send them from your Facebook post. Once people are driving, your ads are driving people to your post from different advertisements on Facebook, where do you want to take them next to get them to buy your product or service? So now we're going to talk about your first landing page. You may create different ones in the future. You likely will. You may try out different versions of the ones that we're going to cover right now. You may try sending them different places, but you need to have a place to send them right now before moving past this module. Otherwise, there's no point in learning how to run any ads because you don't have anywhere to send them. So the purpose of your first landing page, the page that people go to after they hit your page post, is to sell people on buying your product or service. That's the whole point. Whether you're doing the sale right then on that landing page, or it's a pre-sale page, for example, for an affiliate offer or for a product you sell on Amazon. Either way, the purpose of that page is to sell people on buying your product or service, get them convinced, which is what you worked on earlier in this module in creating your winning offer. If you haven't done that, pause this video right now or right after watching this video. Make sure you do everything in the PDF about creating your winning offer. So now a few options for your first landing page. You can send them to your website that either exists now or could exist in the future, just any website that you own or want to create for this purpose. You could send them to a Facebook tab on your page, or you could send them to a third-party site. That could be your landing page. You could send somebody directly from the page post to a third-party site, such as Amazon.com or an affiliate sales page. One thing to keep in mind from an affiliate standpoint is that some people have really abused platforms like Facebook and Google where you can't send people directly from Facebook or just about any other site directly to some affiliate offers. In my experience, this does not apply to Amazon using Amazon Associates affiliate program. What I'm talking about more is more ClickBank offers and that kind of thing. Doesn't mean you can't promote them with Facebook. You just may have to send them to a landing page first, then over to the affiliate offer. So just keep that in mind. But you can send people to your website, Facebook tab, or a third-party site. So how do you choose which one? Well, there are a few different criteria you can use to choose whether to send them to your own website, to your Facebook tab, or directly to a third-party site. For the purposes of this, I do not recommend sending them directly to a third-party site because we want to do some pre-selling or some direct selling, depending on how you have this set up. We really want to sell them. So you're either going to send them to your website or to a Facebook tab right now. You can change this in the future, but follow this right now. So first thing is simplicity. Do you want to have to go out there? If you don't already own a website, you'd have to go sign up for hosting. It can be pretty cheap, $5 a month, not very much. You'd have to sign up for hosting. You'd have to buy a domain for $10, and then you'd have to go and to add an actual website there, whether it's a WordPress site or you use the templates that we have. Either way, a few extra steps. If you're not very technical, that may be too much for you, then you may opt for the Facebook tab option, which is very simple. You'll see in one of the next videos in this module, there's some free tools out there that you can literally click a few buttons and have a nice looking tab on your Facebook page that'll work just fine. So simplicity is one criteria. Another one, technical skills. Like I said, if doing things with FTP, if setting up things with websites, if that's too much for you at this point, or you don't want to have to go, pay somebody on Odesk or Elance to go do those things for you, then that may not be the best option for you. You may want to just do it on a Facebook tab, and then from that Facebook tab, which we'll talk about in a second, send people over to wherever they can actually buy. So you may skip using your own website if that's just too much for you. So another thing is current resources. Do you have a programmer you already work with? Do you have anybody that can implement those things you don't know how to or don't want to know how to do? So just another thing to think about. And do you want to spend any extra money? Do you want to have to buy hosting? Remember, it's pretty cheap, $5 a month. Do you want to have to buy a domain for $10? Do you want to have to do any of those kind of things? That's another thing to choose. Also, there's a few paid tools we recommend. I mean, they're as low as $37 a month, so it's not like it's very expensive, but it's just a matter of whether or not you want to do that. It's really up to you. But there are options. You can just do a Facebook tab, and it's pretty much free. Time and effort is another way, another thing you can use, or another criteria for choosing whether or not to send them to a Facebook tab or to an external website, is do you want to spend the time to, whether it's using our page builder tool to actually, put in the different elements yourself or manipulate any of those things in there, or do you just want to use one of the tools we recommend, pay a little bit of money to use those, or do you just not want to mess with that all and want to send them to a Facebook tab? So then the last thing is obviously cost. I mean, nothing we'll recommend is expensive at all by any means. It's anywhere from, $10 to $100. It's not expensive. We're not recommending it to because we know the people or anything like that. So it's really up to you. You can do it completely free with a Facebook tab, or with one of the templates we give you if you already have a website and don't have to buy a website or hosting. Or you can spend a little bit of money and use one of the tools available. It's really up to you. So what happens after the landing page? You send people from an ad to the post on your page. Then from there, you're sending people to a landing page. So what happens after they get to that landing page? So you can keep them on your own website. This would mean that you would have to have an actual e-commerce store, a way for them to buy from your own website. So they could go to a landing page, for example, with a video sales letter on it. When they click the buy button, that actually takes them through your own shopping cart and people can buy right there. That's a popular method with paid advertising. So if the option you choose is to send people to your website, then you can keep them within your website and they can check out right there. Or you can drive them to a third-party site. Now, this is what a lot of you, I'm sure, are going to be doing, is that you take them to a website or your Facebook tab first, you get them nice and pre-sold, you have all the elements of your offer on there, the guarantee, the scarcity, the benefits, all that sort of good stuff. Then once they're pre-sold, you have a button on there or a link, and from there, you drive them over to Amazon.com to buy your product, or you drive them to an affiliate page so they can buy that product through your link. Really your two main options. You keep them in your website, run your own e-commerce store. That may be too technical for you. It may not be, you just may not want to spend the time or effort doing that. So then you may want to send them to a third-party site that you're already selling on. Either option works just fine. You may do a different option in the future, but just those are really your two options after the landing page. So what to do right now? Watch the other videos in this module. We've got a video basically on each one of these options on creating different landing pages. Choose which landing page type you're going to create. Then make sure all the elements of your winning offer are included on the page. That's why we went through that exercise that's included in the PDF in the Create Your Winning Offer video in this module. So make sure you've written down all those elements and they're all covered on your landing page. So people are pre-sold to buy your product. Remember, this is incredibly important. If you don't do this stuff, it doesn't matter how well you know how to buy Facebook advertising like you're going to learn in the next couple of modules, because people are not going to buy your product if you can't convince them to buy it, which is what all that's for. It's pretty simple. It's not difficult stuff. You don't have to be an expert copywriter or any of those kind of things. You just need to include those elements so that it removes the risk for people and compels them to buy your product. So then earn your sales funnel setup badge. You can do that with one of the videos in this module. Make sure you do that. And then get ready to advertise. This module is incredibly important. The sales funnel module is incredibly important because it sets you up for success if you do it right in the future modules where you're actually buying Facebook advertising, which is what I'm sure all of you came here for. But trust me, this module that you're on right now is arguably going to be more important to your business than anything else. So make sure you do everything in this module, craft your offer correctly, create your sales funnel, and then once all that's in place, get ready to advertise in the modules coming up.